Hello, it's Steve, and this is our sustainable journey. Today, I just want to kind of give a quick video tour of where we keep our breeding bins. So what we do is we try and build up our supply of worms so that when we add more CFTs, we have plenty of worms to add to that CFT. I like to start a bin with between 10 and 20,000, which is usually between 10 and 20 pounds of worms. And so what we do is we set up these trays. So this one has 12, there's 12 over there. So we've got 24 trays, and each tray probably has 2 or 3 pounds of worms in it. And so you can see that we like to keep the bins low. So like, I don't know, 2 inches or less, right? And we like to give them food scraps. Oh, see one of those bags from the food scraps. And cardboard and peat moss, and those are kind of the big 3 that we give them. So like, here's another bin. We've got a bunch of worms in here. And then once they've kind of gone through this, oh, that's right, these are the guys that love the banana. Yeah, see, there you go. They are digging that banana. Cover that back up. Once they've gotten through all of this stuff, we will sift them out, take the worms, add them to a new CFT, because we're constantly adding new CFTs. I think on the original plans for this building, we can do 14 or 16, I don't remember the exact number, of CFT bins, and those are those 8-foot by 2.5-foot bins. Yeah, see, they are chowing down. Hey, how big worm ball. Let's close them back up. And so we like to keep the population growing, and so we just, there we go, see, big bundles of worms. And so we like to keep them breeding so that we have plenty of stock for when we add another bin, because every time we add, I would say probably every 20 to 30 households that we add to the food scrap pickup program, we add a CFT. And each one can handle between 100 and 200 pounds a week, depending on how mature they are. You know, the new ones, they're going to get a lot less. You know, they might get 50 pounds on a weekly basis. And the more mature ones can handle 200 pounds on a weekly basis, just because they can chow through that stuff pretty quick. So this is where we keep the breeding bins. And then we've got, there's one of the CFTs over in the corner, and you can actually see a bunch of the buckets. I need to clean buckets this weekend. So that's gonna be a fun task, because I have a whole bunch of buckets to clean. So, and these are the buckets we picked up today. So there are 6, 12, 36, I think, buckets. No, there's more than that. There's another 6. So 42 buckets today. So if you average out, let's say each bucket is 20 pounds, and there are 40, yeah, that's a lot of food. And so it's what, over 800 pounds of food that we need to give to the worms. And so that's 4 CFTs, and that's what we've got. And so we'll feed it to them, and then we'll see how well they do, how much they eat. You can see, like, look at all these guys. So this bin is almost ready to be added to another CFT, just because you can see the sheer volume of worms that have gone in here, way more than those other bins. And so they're about to explode. And so what happens is worms regulate their population based on the size of the container they're in. So if you don't ever want to have more than one bin, you don't have to, because they will stop breeding once the bin gets to a certain size, or once their population grows into the size of the bin, and then they'll stop making babies, making cocoons. Now, if you want to keep growing your bins, what you do is you have smaller, lower levels of bins, like these ones up here where it's only about 2 inches. This one's probably, that's about 3 inches, 3-4 inches. And so the lower volume promotes breeding, and then you let them continue growing and growing and growing, and then you split the bins. So what you do is you basically take half the worms, put them in a new bin, and then do it all over again until it grows. And so that's my breeding advice, is small bins, keep them low. See, look at that, look at all those worms. There's a lot of worms. Yeah, these guys are definitely ready for another CFT. What's this one? This one might be ready too. Yep. So it looks like I've got some CFTs to build, because this one's almost full. Yeah, this one probably go a couple more weeks. Oh, there they all are. Yeah, giant worm balls. And so these are kind of so we have the breeding trays, and then we have the pre-CFT, and then we put them over into the CFT, which we have one in the corner in this room, and then we've got more in the other rooms that take care of all of the food scraps. So this one's probably, yeah, this one's pretty low right now. This one we just started, so there's only a couple of worms in there. I know I have some more. Here we go. So down here, this one's probably a couple of weeks old, right? So they haven't quite expanded out their population yet. Yeah, but they will. Get them going. It's a little dry. I'm gonna add some moisture to it. And they also need, it looks like they just have one potato. This one doing. This one's pretty new still. I don't remember the dates on this one. I'll have to look it up. But there you have it. I think when I first started in my house, I had over 30 bins because I just kept splitting them until we had the CFTs. And then I was able to fill up, I think I filled 3 CFTs with the 30 bins that I had. You know, you take the castings off, and then it's just each one, I think each one had 10 or 15 pounds of worms in it. That was a year ago, I think, when we first started the CFTs. And so they'll keep processing it, and they'll keep growing, and they'll keep eating the food scraps that we have, and then we can use that in our garden that we then turn around and give to customers, give to friends, give to family. And that's the whole idea. So the stuff you don't eat can eventually become the stuff that you do eat, because we use it as basically like a fertilizer for our garden. And then we take those vegetables and eat them. So the worm poop makes the vegetables become awesome. All right, I think that'll be it for today. Just a quick check on the worm bins and the breeding and see how they're doing. Maybe I'll split a bin, add some more. We've got I've got more shelving. I can add more bins. And I'll show you how we do that maybe in the next video. All right, until next time. See you later. All right, I want to show you something really cool. So we are, I don't know, close to the house, right? And in north central Illinois, it is morel mushroom season. And so this is a morel mushroom. So we could just pop that guy out. He doesn't look like he's in very good shape. But that's pretty cool. This is the third one I found so far. So I figured I'd show you guys. And I'm going to keep looking because this is kind of neat.